Thank you for watching. Subscribe on Betrayed Man's Diary for more stories. My name's Chris. I'm 43 years old, married for what would have been 18 years this fall. I always thought stories like this happened to other people, the kind you read about online, shake your head at, and move on from. The kind you judge quietly, thinking you'd never let that happen to you. Then it happened to me. And it all started with a friend request. It was a Tuesday. Regular work day. Nothing special. I was on my lunch break scrolling Facebook, half bored, half distracted, when a notification popped up. You have one new friend request. It was from a woman named Heather Wallace. Her profile picture showed a woman in her late 30s, blonde, smiling next to a couple of kids at what looked like a birthday party. She looked vaguely familiar, though I couldn't place her. We had 5 mutual friends, including my wife, Danielle. I hesitated for a second. Usually, I ignore random friend requests. But something about this one felt ordinary, like a neighbor or someone from the kids' school. So, I accepted. Less than 10 minutes later, I got a message. Hi, Chris. I know this is out of the blue, but I need to tell you something. It's about Danielle. Just reading that made my stomach drop. I stared at the screen for a while, heart thudding in my chest. Danielle and I had been together since we were 25. High school friends who lost touch and reconnected after college. We built everything together, a house, 2 kids, a life filled with birthday parties and soccer games and lazy Sundays. I'd never once doubted her. Until that message. I responded, asking what she meant. She didn't waste time. I caught your wife with my husband. In my bed. While I was holding our daughter. I had to read it again. Then a third time. Danielle. My Danielle. In bed with someone else. In Heather's house. My mind went blank. Cold. I didn't know what to say. What do you even say to something like that? Heather continued, rapid fire, like she had rehearsed this moment. Like she'd been waiting for me to finally know. She came over while I was out running errands. My daughter was with me at the time. But we came home early because she had a stomach ache. I walked into my bedroom with her on my hip, and there they were. Together. My husband. Your wife. On my bed. Like it was theirs. I sat there, stunned. My office chair felt like it was made of concrete. Everything slowed down. I couldn't even respond at first. My fingers hovered over the keyboard while my brain tried to catch up. Heather sent one more message like a final blow. I'm sorry you're finding out this way, but I figured you should hear it from someone who knows, not from them. I thought Danielle and I were friends. Friends. That word cut deeper than any of the rest, because it meant Danielle knew this woman, had smiled in her face, had laughed at her jokes, asked about her kids, and then turned around and slept with her husband. I felt like I'd been punched in the chest. That morning, everything had seemed normal. Danielle had been in high spirits, moving through the kitchen with a coffee in one hand and her curling iron in the other. She was talking about the weekend like it was a spa retreat she desperately needed. Said she and her friend Amanda were heading to some health and beauty expo in the city, one of those events full of aromatherapy booths, anti-aging serums, and overpriced candles with names like Moondrift and Zen Citrus. She packed her weekend bag the night before. Threw in makeup, a new dress, and her phone charger. I didn't question any of it. We'd been together nearly 2 decades. I trusted her completely. So I offered to drop her off at Amanda's place on my way to run a few errands. She accepted with a smile and a kiss. The kids were staying with my sister for the weekend, which gave me a little room to breathe and catch up on house projects. We left just after 9 a.m. The sky was overcast, a typical spring morning. She chatted the whole way about how excited Amanda was, how many vendors would be there, how maybe they'd try to get matching facials if the line wasn't too long. Amanda's place was a 2-story colonial in a quiet neighborhood we'd both been to plenty of times. As I pulled up to the curb, I noticed Amanda's SUV already in the driveway. She was standing at the front door, waving at us. But what caught my eye was the truck parked across the street. It wasn't Amanda's. It wasn't Danielle's. It was a black Chevy with tinted windows and custom rims. Not a work truck, something newer, flashier. My radar didn't go off right away, but something about it sat strange in the back of my mind. Danielle hugged me goodbye, told me to enjoy my weekend and not forget to defrost the chicken, then walked up the path with her bag swinging on her shoulder. Amanda opened the door. They hugged. They both waved. And I drove off. About 2 hours later, my phone lit up with a notification, new message from Heather Wallace. I jumped in my car, heart racing, and drove back to Amanda's house. When I pulled up again, that black Chevy was gone. Amanda's front door was closed. No one at the windows. The whole street felt quiet, too quiet. The kind of quiet that makes your skin crawl. I texted Danielle. No answer. I texted Heather. Truck's gone. She responded immediately, confirming that it was her husband's car. And that was when it all began to collapse. The expo? A lie. The girls' weekend? A cover. Danielle wasn't in the city browsing essential oils. She was right there, 2 neighborhoods over, sneaking around in Amanda's house with another man, a man whose wife had just reached out to me in absolute heartbreak. And the worst part? I dropped her off myself, like a chauffeur to my own betrayal. Danielle and I have 2 kids. 2 beautiful, sharp, wild-hearted kids who never asked to be part of any of this. That's what breaks me the most. Because somewhere along the way, she started using our daughter as camouflage, as a tool to mask her deception. And I never saw it coming. For months, Danielle had been telling me she was taking our daughter over to her friend Amanda's place, someone I knew, someone she'd been friends with for years. Amanda also had a daughter around the same age as ours. They'd sleep over, have movie nights, paint each other's nails, eat too much popcorn, and stay up too late. It sounded innocent enough. Hell, I loved that they were close. It gave Danielle her space. It gave our daughter a safe social outlet. It gave me a chance to decompress and catch up on housework or overdue sleep. But it was all a front. Because today, just today, as this entire world of lies started unraveling, I found out that Amanda wasn't just a friend. She was the cover. She was the accomplice. She was the one who opened her door and smiled at me as I dropped Danielle off, all while knowing exactly who would be arriving not long after I drove away. Because it turns out, the guy Danielle was sneaking around with, Heather's husband, had been coming to Amanda's house. Repeatedly. Sometimes while our daughter was there. Sometimes while Danielle pretended it was just a girls' night. And Amanda? She helped hide it. She let it happen. She let that man, the one who tore apart 2 marriages, waltz through her door like a welcome guest. She gave Danielle the space to cheat. The time. The privacy. The built-in alibi. And while our daughter watched movies with Amanda's daughter in the other room, her mother was betraying me under the same roof. I found all of this out after I dropped Danielle off this morning. After she smiled at me, kissed our daughter on the forehead, waved goodbye, the same way she always does. Heather told me everything. She had screenshots. Timeline gaps filled in. Names. Places. Days that suddenly made sense. The late-night runs to the store. The last-minute sleepovers. The quiet text at 11 p.m. when she said she was checking on our girl. It was all there. In horrifying detail. So I called Danielle. No answer. I called again. Still nothing. Finally, I sent her a text. You're caught. I know everything. A few minutes later, I got her reply. 1 word. What? I responded. Don't pretend. Heather told me. I know about you and her husband. About Amanda. About the visits. The truck. All of it. She replied a minute later. I don't know what you're talking about. And just like that, she denied it. Flat out. No emotion. No panic. No apology. Just denial, like I hadn't just dropped her off hours earlier for what I thought was another family-friendly weekend, like she hadn't just been exposed by someone who literally walked in on them together. That denial, that cold, robotic reply, it lit something inside me. Not rage. Not even heartbreak. Just numbness. Because the moment someone lies that convincingly after being caught, you realize you never really knew them at all. It took a few hours of back and forth. Texts that felt like chess moves, careful, dodging, maneuvering around the inevitable truth. But eventually, she broke. Danielle finally admitted it. She said it wasn't what I thought, that it was just one time, that she didn't mean for it to happen. All the things you expect someone to say when they know there's no other way out. But the truth was out now. Confirmed. She had betrayed me, not just emotionally, not just once, but with planning, effort, and deceit. With a backup plan, a cover story, a second home base at Amanda's. I was numb. Not surprised. Not anymore. Just gutted in a way that felt final. But I'll admit, a small part of me felt relieved. Not because she cheated, obviously, but because now I knew. I could stop second-guessing myself. Stop chasing shadows. Stop playing detective in my own marriage. I wasn't crazy. I wasn't paranoid. She really did what I feared. And now I didn't have to live under that shadow anymore. But the relief was short-lived. Because then came the reality. Danielle doesn't work. Hasn't in years. That was a decision we made together. She stayed home with the kids when they were little, and by the time they started school, I was pulling in enough from my job to carry us both. so she stayed home. Did some part-time stuff on occasion, but I covered the bills. All of them. I work long hours, extra shifts when I can, side projects when they come up. I do it so we can live. So our kids don't have to go without. So Danielle could breathe easier. Last week, I got a bonus. $8,000. It was supposed to go toward debt and savings, fixing up the car, maybe even taking a small vacation, something we hadn't done in years. That money? Gone. I checked our account this morning. My paycheck had dropped too, another $2,000, and it was also gone. No receipts. No explanations. Drained. I confronted her. She gave me some line about needing it for emergencies. Bills. Groceries. Things for the kids. But nothing added up. I'm still not sure where it all went. All I know is that she didn't just wreck our marriage, she torched our finances too. She left us gutted, emotionally and financially, without blinking. Heather's family? Shattered. Mine? Hanging by threads. Our kids have no idea yet. They're still playing in the living room, unaware of the tidal wave that just hit their lives. And here I am, sitting in a kitchen that doesn't feel like mine anymore, doing math in my head, not just the financial kind, but the emotional kind. How many times? That's what I keep thinking now. How many times has she done this? Was this the first affair? The second? The fifth? Was this the first time she got caught? Or just the first time someone cared enough to tell me? Because the way she lied, smooth, practiced, calm, it didn't feel like the first time. It felt like muscle memory. And now that I'm asking those questions, I can't stop. Every late-night grocery run. Every girls' night. Every random trip to the pharmacy or solo coffee outing or text she tilted away from me. They all flash back now in high definition. Every single one could have been a betrayal. And I'll never know. Let me know when you're ready for part 5, where the focus shifts toward the emotional fallout, the question of staying or leaving, and what it means to live with a woman you no longer recognize. The strange thing is, after all this, after the betrayal, the confession, the bank account being emptied, we're still under the same roof. Not by choice, by logistics, by the impossible puzzle of separating two lives that have been tied together for nearly 2 decades. Every corner of this house is haunted now, not by ghosts, but by memories that have curdled into reminders of what I've lost. I sit on the couch and see the place where she first told me she was pregnant. I walk into the kitchen and remember when we painted it together, laughing and throwing sponge rollers at the wall. I brush my teeth and see her makeup bag still tucked in the cabinet beside mine. And I don't recognize a single damn thing anymore. She moves around the house like nothing happened, picks up after the kids, wipes the counters, makes small talk like we're just dealing with a bad week, like she didn't rip the foundation out from under us. Sometimes I wonder if I'm the only one feeling it this deeply. If she somehow believes we'll just patch things up, slap on a coat of forgiveness and move on. But I'm not built like that. I can't just pretend this didn't happen. I don't want to pretend. There's something corrosive about being around someone who betrayed you so deeply and watching them act like you're just going through a rough patch. Like this is something we can recover from with a few good weeks and a decent counselor. She keeps saying sorry, keeps asking what I want her to do, keeps saying she'll make it up to me. But how do you make up for that? For using our daughter as a shield while she snuck off to sleep with someone else? For lying to my face? For wiping out every dollar in our account when I was working overtime to give her the life she said she wanted? How do you fix that? Some nights I lie awake staring at the ceiling, wondering how we got here. Wondering if there was a moment I missed, a fork in the road where she started turning away, and I didn't see it. But other nights, the worst ones, I don't wonder anything at all. I just lie there and feel nothing. Completely hollow. Numb in the way that scares you, because you realize you're not even angry anymore. You're just done. Not ready to leave, maybe, but already gone in every way that matters. And that scares me too. Because if I'm already gone in my heart, what does that make me in this house? A ghost? A shell? A placeholder? Everyone talks about the aftermath of cheating like it's a switch. Like you either stay or go. But no one talks about the in-between. The space where you haven't left, but you're not really there anymore either. Where your body is home, but your heart is somewhere else, half buried, half searching, completely worn out. That's where I live now. I walk around this house like I'm trespassing. I listen to my kids laugh in the next room and smile because they're still okay for now. But under that smile is panic. Because I know the longer I stay, the more they'll notice the cracks, the long silences, the way I flinch when their mother touches my shoulder in the kitchen, the way my voice changes when I answer her questions. They'll pick up on it. Kids always do. And I don't know what's worse, staying for them and slowly dying inside, or leaving and being the reason they cry at night. Danielle still tries. She's suddenly more attentive than she's been in years. Makes breakfast. Packs the kids' lunches. Leaves folded laundry on my side of the bed. Little things. Too little, too late. Sometimes she sits across from me at the table and watches me like she wants to say something, really say something, but she never does. She's said it all before. I'm sorry, Dot. I was lost, Dot. It meant nothing, Dot. I was stupid, Dot. It'll never happen again. I've memorized those lines. I could write a script, but none of it touches the part of me that died the day she chose someone else. At night, I lie in bed thinking about the man she gave herself to. Not just physically, though that's enough, but willingly. Secretly. Repeatedly. I picture her sitting in a car waiting for him, texting him while lying next to me. I think about the lies she told to create space for him in our life. The ones she told me. The ones she told herself. I imagine how easy it must have been for her in the beginning. How exciting it must have felt to have a secret again. To be wanted. To be reckless. And then I think about the silence I've lived with every day since. The silence in my head when she walks into the room. The silence between us during dinner. The silence when I ask her a direct question and she stares at her hands instead of answering. There's a part of me that wants to rage. To flip the table. Throw her clothes on the lawn. Scream at the top of my lungs until I'm hoarse and raw and empty. But I don't. Because I'm too tired. Too hollow. And because deep down, I know rage won't fix it. Nothing will. She broke something that can't be put back together. Not with words. Not with apologies. Not even with time. And every minute I stay here, stuck in this limbo, the more I start to realize I'm the one keeping myself in hell. I feel like I'm going crazy. I guess I'm just hoping someone out there has been through something like this and can offer perspective, or at least remind me I'm not alone. How do you survive something like this? How do you look at someone every day who shattered your life and still pretend she can be part of the rebuild? Is it crazy that I haven't left? Is it crazy that I want to? I guess I just need someone to talk to. Anything. Advice. Perspective. Experience. Because right now, I'm just a guy sitting in the ruins of his marriage, wondering what the hell comes next. Thanks for reading. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more dramatic tales.